Hey everybody, what's up? My name's Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are husband and wife, and we'd like to welcome you to TerreDice.
And today we're taking a look at Ostia Pirates, the brand new expansion for the game Ostia, which is inspired by some mechanics from a game called Trajan, which is actually about the same historical figure and Ostia Portus, his greatest creation, which is a hexagonal-shaped, and we all know hex is great for board games.
Very true.
Port.
Yeah, so this expansion will be coming to Kickstarter, or it's already out on Kickstarter, and we're going to tell you what we think and about the expansion. All right, let's dive in.
So if you are not familiar with Ostia, it is a Mancala action selection game. Now what that means is you're gonna pick up, you basically have like a circle and you've got all these actions around it, and you're gonna pick up all the pieces from one of those action spaces and you're gonna leave one behind clockwise until you run out. Wherever you end up is where you are gonna take an action. Now there's also a piece where wherever you pull from, you're gonna be producing some resources. So there's a bit of a like timing of I need to produce these things so the next time I come around, I have enough to spend to do the actions. Now as your boats are dropping off gold and then going to like build more ships or going to build more buildings, you're also going to be charting a course exploring out to like distant lands in the Mediterranean and beyond. And so you've got like boats on the main board that are moving out to those later cities. So that's the gist of the game. You're going to score the most points by making it far out to those far out cities and getting to these scoring tiles. You also have the ability to increase your score multiplier for all the different scoring conditions. So that's something that a lot of people will go for. And we now have the Ostia Pirates expansion. Now, what the expansion is bringing is a couple of things.
Pirates.
First, yes, pirates. In case you didn't know or guess from the title, there are indeed pirates.
Not internet pirates. Arg pirates.
Arg pirates, the good kind of pirates. Well, the bad, the scurvy.
Bad.
Yeah, all right. Well, anyway, so these pirates are basically going to be blockers on the board from you getting out further to those more distant islands and getting to those, importantly, those endgame scoring conditions that are often on those last tiles at the end of the trails. So there are these black flag pirates and then there are red flag pirates. They get progressively harder to defeat as you go on. One thing that's really cool about this mechanic is it basically makes it so that it's harder for someone to rush to the end of those tracks, which is something that could happen in the base game. The next major mechanic that it brings are the legionaries. These are these like soldiers that you get that are important for fighting those pirates. So you want to have those if you want to go against the pirates, because you can also get these treasure chests for defeating those pirates. And so those treasure chests are going to be worth more based on how much you're able to plunder, based on how many legionaries you have. So that's all the stuff over on the main board. Now you also have these supporter and home city tiles, which you will get to choose a pair, sort of drafting from the back forward, at the beginning of the game that is going to give you kind of like a starting condition or bonus and some sort of like action bonus or endgame bonus where it's like whenever I do this I can do this other thing. So you're going to get those. However, now that you have a home city that you represent, you also have a reputation that home city brings. And yes, disgrace, shame. So you have these disgrace cubes that basically represent favor that you have to pay back to the great city to basically like regain your favor.
Your reputation. Yeah.
Now we have one more as well. There are a ton of things going on in this expansion. We also have these sort of like Roman buildings that you can get that whenever you place buildings on your main board, you usually get like ability bonuses for those. But whenever you construct those buildings, you now have an option to place them on a common board where you can pick up these like building tiles that are giving you different bonuses throughout the game based on the number of players and based on what's available when you go to get that. So just a lot of new ways to do things that you were doing before, a couple new actions. A couple free actions that you can take every turn. So
yeah, it really expands out the mechanics that were already going on, and the added pirates gets you thinking even more about how you're going to utilize that system going around the circle, because you're going to have to collect the weapons, and so it's really important to get the soldiers onto your board because they're going to be a permanent like weapon that you can use, so that will help your like engine that you're going to be building throughout the game. Now, this was our first time playing Ostia in general, and so we played the game several times without the expansion, and then we added on the expansion. as an opinion about the base game, I really, really enjoyed this game. I was actually surprised how much I enjoyed the system of like having to calculate like how many spaces I needed to move and which boats needed to go where, and I really love that puzzle.
Yeah, I think it's one of those cool games that like the board itself doesn't look like much, and then you start to put the tiles on it, you put the boats on it, you put the all the bonus pieces on it, you start putting buildings on it. It starts to get really colorful, and I like games that build that way. When there's a lot of mechanics, you don't want a really busy board to begin with.
Yes.
And I think this game does a good job at just kind of like building by the components on top of it.
It's very beautiful. It has a very light color scheme, and because it is done in a Euro style game, the playing pieces are very, at least in the base game, are simplistic, and the cubes are going to represent multiple things. But I actually found that to be a very streamlined process, and I actually found it.
Picking them up and moving
I actually
them
found
across.
it refreshing. Yeah, that the cubes, they were wherever you were. They were the item wherever the section that they were in, and I actually really enjoyed not the having to have a separate looking token for every single thing you were doing. I thought it was really nice.
Yeah, well, especially because sometimes you trade them one for one. You just want to move your cubes rather than
so that made the token management very simple.
So I think like with the Ostia Pirates expansion, certainly it adds a whole lot of new mechanics. It adds a lot of things that if the base game was sort of growing familiar for you, that you could add on and you could bring in. It's hard for me to tell exactly how much of it is like, wow, this is an incredibly fun new thing that I'm really glad I get to do, versus like the pirates, for instance, feel like a sort of like catch-up slowdown mechanic for like, oh, boom, 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 I'm now at the end. You really have to like arm up to try to get to the end, and that actually like every player may not reach a bonus ship tile at the end of the thing now. So I think it kind of like makes it so you have to pick strategies a little bit more. Which is interesting, but I also I wish that the pirates did more, because they just kind of sit there.
I was gonna say, even after you defeat the pirates, they still remain in that spot. You just don't care about them unless you have another ship go that direction. With the pirates, I wish they would create more player interaction, because the game really doesn't have that much player interaction.
Yeah, it would be cool if they, so there's if you're the first down a path, you get dibs on a lot of stuff. But if, I guess it'd be cool if you could send the pirates upstream when you defeat them. So it's like they go back, closer to the people, or something like that could be super interesting. Because then it would basically mean this is my strategy now. No one else can do it.
Yes, but I really like the add-ons of the soldiers are fun because they interact. That's how you interact with the pirates, and it's another thing to think about for the weapons. And then the individual cities with the shame, that was another thing. I was surprised that really can hurt your score if you don't get rid of those shame markers. -7 per cube. And so Jonathan and I, he had a lot of more base points than me, but I had gotten rid of all of my shame or disgrace. And so our scores, I think we only ended up that one game, 2 or 3 points apart because of that shame. So that really does add to the game. And then it's and then the other bonuses, it just makes each player a little more asymmetrical.
I feel like we've yet to, in our few plays, get to really feel the full extent of I feel like I really need this expansion. But it's certainly, I see the ways that it enhances the gameplay. For instance, having the ability to put those buildings over there rather than on your main board, and just having the same 6 upgrades available, hugely replayable. So things like that are just a big change. And I think are a well worth it sort of improvement to the base game.
Yeah, we have a friend who loves Ostia and was really excited about this, because he said he kind of figured out and always had the same sort of strategy he would do. So this is really going to mix it up for him and kind of refresh the game for him for a game that he loves. All right, that is our review and overview of Ostia and the new expansion Ostia Pirates, which is now on Kickstarter. So go check out the link down below if you want to check it out. If you're watching this video in current time, we will be doing a live stream of this game with the expansion next Friday, which there'll be a link down below as well. If you're watching this after that happened, you can always go and watch the replay if you want to see how the game plays out. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much to this publisher for sending over the game. I really enjoyed checking it out. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know whenever we put out a new video. And we'll see you next time. Happy playing. Can you be a pirate? High five.